It's priceless.
A 1951 Willie Mays rookie card. This is how I can cheer up my dad.
Everybody wants it.
10 bars.
So!
But to get it,
That baseball card is the answer.
Cisco's son gets in over his head.
Do you want to die?
Could Jake's innocent quest
It all makes sense now.
You accuse the Kai of kidnapping?
set off an intergalactic war
You're starting to go over the edge.
on the next Star Trek Deep Space Nine?
Welcome once again to the Depths of DS9. As we catapult toward the end of Season 5, it is kind of towards the end of seasons of really any television show, especially when it's the penultimate episode, as this one is. You wind up with these one-offs. You wind up with these, let's be honest, cheap pieces of shit that they want to put out basically because they're not going to require the amount of production, the amount of budget, and the time investment that inevitably the season finale is going to. Indeed, we are marching onward toward one of the greatest season finales in the history of Star Trek, and so it stands to reason that the episode approaching it, right before it, would be a dressed-down affair, decidedly. And this is, although I have to say, it's quaint, it's charming, it's well-written, well acted. They wind up actually incorporating the entire cast, folks. It's in the cards. I am Captain Fist. I am joined by Lieutenant Commander Gell, and wouldn't you know, Engineering Officer Tactical Hobo. Actually, you're at Tactical, aren't you?
Of course, always.
Yes! Our tactical officer, the Tactical Hobo. How are you, fine gentlemen? And how did you find this episode?
Well, I mean, I watched it when it originally aired.
Yeah.
I loved it.
We all did, for crying out loud.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it when it first aired. I thought it told a cute story with the teenage characters, and I like how it interwove with the main story, the main plot.
Yeah, it's interesting because the B plot in this, you feel like maybe could have been the main story. Because the B plot here, as we'll talk about in a moment, is, hey, Bajor might have a non-aggression pact with the Dominion. It's kind of a big deal.
Kind of important.
kind of a big deal in the wider macrocosm of the DS9 arc that we've been witnessing. And indeed, it's a big deal because as we open the episode here on the cold open, the Dominion appears to be winning this particular intergalactic game of StarCraft. Things are not going well, and the Federation are tweedling their ball sacks. This is definitely setting up some stuff. But being this good at StarCraft, who knew Wayoun was a Korean guy? I don't know. It's amazing. A Zerg rush is going on. And really, everybody's sort of lamenting that the Federation have not stepped in.
Did you hear about the Tiananmen? It was reported missing last night near the Cardassian border.
That's 3 in the last 3 weeks.
This rate, we're gonna run out of ships.
Well, that's not funny.
It wasn't meant to be. Unless Starfleet Command actually starts doing something about the Dominion threat, the situation's only gonna get worse.
Well, what do you want, Julian? A war?
What I want is to talk about something else.
How'd you feel about this cold open, guys, where we're kind of going around the room and everybody's sort of commiserating about the state of the Dominion. It's funny because it's been a few episodes since we've like really hardcore fixated on it, so it's almost sort of catching us up to speed that, oh yeah, we're getting our asses kicked by the Dominion. The Dominion are pretty much eating everyone's lunch.
Yeah, it's interesting. You could tell, like, everything is building up towards something really big. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's... How do you feel like juxtapose a show like Babylon 5 where they have a whole arc that they clearly plan from the beginning, but they start out more episodic and whatever, to DS9 where they clearly had a plan. Like, you're talking about we talked about the Dominion in season 2, for crying out loud. So this is a slow setup, and the Dominion are introduced in earnest. They're even an active military threat that blows up a freaking Galaxy-class starship in season 2, for crying out loud. But the way that it's told is different. It's distinct from Babylon 5. It's like, well, the day-to-day goes on. And so we get, instead of this episode-to-episode kind of completely serialized approach, we get the day-to-day of Deep Space Nine, because it turns out even in the midst of war, life goes on. And then we get these brief bursts of violence and a brief burst of plot where the Dominion becomes an even more immediate threat. Like, how do you feel those things? Like, I think at the time maybe it was done piecemeal like that because DS9 was syndicated. They didn't trust that it could sustain completely serialized storytelling. But if you look back in retrospect, I feel like it holds up a little better in a way because it makes it more realistic. It's like life on the front. It must be similar to how people living in war-torn France were during World War II, where it's like, okay, the Germans just steamrolled through town, but I gotta go buy milk and eggs. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. How do you guys feel about how the storytelling is going with regard to the Dominion? Because next episode, and we're going to talk about the season finale, the Dominion War really pops off. Big time. So how do you feel it's been building to this point, guys?
Yeah, it's they do take a long time to really get to it, which, I mean, I remember when I was like a kid, at some times I was like, oh, I want there to be more action or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And then they're going and doing like this card thing, and while like the you know, the entire war is like building and everything, but yet we're going and looking for a card, right? But like you said, it does make sense because I mean, yeah, life does go on during crises is how we say it. So yeah,
a series like Babylon 5, it was told very much like an old serialized drama.
Yeah,
I
like
think,
soap opera, like more of a soap opera.
Yeah,
really.
Definitely, like a space soap opera. And at the beginning, I think DS9 kinda also tried to do that because they were just coming off of Next Gen. So that was also told very episodic. But later on, they really did find their stride. I think DS9 really nailed it when it came to telling an overall arc.
Yeah, the approach is clearly different from like a Babylon 5 or even other more modern shows, in that I think the thing DS9 did a lot was multi-part episodes. That was like their solution. That was their olive branch to the network. Because, you know, Paramount and CBS were like, well, you're syndicated. Like, they might air these episodes out of order, and shoot, Hobo, Taryn, you both can testify to this fact. They did air episodes out of order back in the day. They absolutely did. Here in Phoenix, there was like the network that it was on, it changed at least twice, I remember, when I was a kid, and it was for a while it was airing on Saturdays, and sometimes it would air on Sundays. Like, it was they would just change stuff around because it was syndicated. It wasn't like it wasn't on CBS in prime time. That wasn't how it worked. It was weird. The days before Star Trek had a dedicated network, which of course was UPN later on, was a weird time because they could just sort of air the episodes whenever they wanted. You know what I mean? It was really, really freaking... Did you guys have like experiences in that regard at all? Because I remember it being irregular.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. I do know that I actually, because I got really into like DS9, and I would like check out the TV guide, right? The paper copy to like see when it was gone, because like you said, I think it did change around a bit. And I used to record a lot of Star Trek episodes on VHS.
Yeah,
and
same
especially
here.
if I wasn't going to be around, I'm like, I got to record this because this is a big episode, and I'll watch it later. You know.
The one that I really started doing that with hardcore, it wasn't until Enterprise came around that I, like, every single episode would record it on VHS. And by then, it was like season 2, season 3 when it got into the Xindi War. And so it was very serialized. Like, there were no standalone episodes that season, pretty much. It was just serialized. So I didn't want to miss a single episode. That was really the first one, and then Star Hunter was around that time. But this is one of those classic kind of... It's interesting how this is typical DS9. This is a bottle episode in a way. It's a cheapie. It's all about hunting down a baseball card to make Sisko happy. And of course that winds up sort of rippling out and making the whole station happy. But at the same time, Wayoun's here. The Jemadar are on the station. Kai Wynn's on the station. We're advancing the Bajoran plot. We're advancing the Dominion plot. All while we're in the middle of this bottle episode. You know what I mean? Like, this is archetypal DS9. This is the classic example of it. And of course, the two principals here are two that we haven't seen a lot this season. Nog and Jake. They are sobbing into their space Snapple. So Quark saunters on up in his trans flag shirt, and he offers some space Jew advice to them. They clearly recognize that Sisko is like rubbing his temples and he has the migraine of the century because of all he's dealing with. I think at the end of the cold open, we find out that Kai Wynn's coming to the station, and Sisko basically looks like he wants to commit about 50 more war crimes. He's not pleased to hear that news. She's gonna show up for a face-to-forehead chat with him in her great big lipstick hat. It's been a while since we saw Kai Wynn, hasn't it? I mean, it's been a while since we recorded an episode, so we might not even remember, but...
I remember back in the day when she was on the show.
It's been 84 years.
I believe that was when he told Bajor as the emissary, don't join the Federation. That was the big hubbub.
Which is interesting. We've settled into a curious kind of dynamic with Kai Wynn and Sisko, where now that she's the Kai, he has to deal with her, and she's actually kind of deferring to him because he occupies this... He's Space Jesus, right? They can't... she can't do without him because her people, let's be real, if he made them choose between the emissary and the Kai, they'd probably pick the emissary. That's how important he is. So she sort of is cowed a little bit by that. It's this interesting dynamic that's sort of developed. But either way, he looks like he wants to commit about 50 more war crimes within the first 5 syllables of that announcement. But of course, in all of that, we set up that Jake hears about this vintage Willie Mays baseball card at an auction. He implores Nog for his Space Jew assistance, which touches off one of the most inadvertently anti-communist scenes in Star Trek history. This thing was based. This was absolutely incredible. I'm human. We don't need money. Well, then you don't need mine.
Yes.
Genius.
I'm human. I don't have any money.
It's not my fault your species decided to abandon currency-based economics in favor of some philosophy of self-enhancement.
Hey, watch it. There's nothing wrong with our philosophy. We work to better ourselves and the rest of humanity.
What does that mean exactly?
It means we don't need money.
Well, if you don't need money, then you certainly don't need mine.
Absolutely genius. It's funny because the way that it's described by the Star Trek writers is, oh, it was social commentary. It's like, yeah, it's social commentary on your space commie bullshit. And you didn't even get it.
Remind me to insert here a picture of Jake explaining this to Nog and, Photoshop. It's our money.
Yep. Yep. They are going to attempt to buy it at auction. It's kind of a bad situation. There's a lot of people there. He just doesn't have that much of an opportunity. What was their limit? Like several bars? And
5 bars. They only had 5 bars.
They only had 5. They could only go to 5.
Yeah, they only had 5.
Yes. And of course, Jake's only experience with auctions is through his ancestors. So naturally, we're gonna cut that out. Feel free to cut that out. But he gets outbid at the eBay auction. He gets eBay sniped by Dr. Foreheadstein, basically. And that guy, I thought he was Bajoran to start with, but he's driving hard to the hoop. He wants what exactly? He wanted like the Bajoran mandolin or something?
I forget what component was in this box. There was like a Bajoran thing, a computer thing, and the baseball card.
And the baseball card.
Right.
It is kind of funny, though, they go with a Willie Mays card, because it's not that valuable. Like, Willie Mays, you know, if you really, really wanted a valuable baseball card, it'd be like a Mickey Mantle or something like that. Like, there's way more valuable baseball cards than Willie Mays. But I think the idea is this show's written by a bunch of white guys and Jews, so they thought, oh, it's got to be a black baseball player because he's Cisco. No, actually, I think what it was, didn't they say in an earlier episode that Cisco, like, idolized Willie Mays or something like that? I think it was more personal.
Maybe?
I think. Look, I'm not bashing the Say Hey Kid here, guys. Willie Mays is an absolute legend. But he was not, his baseball card was not that valuable. Still, it's the future, it's the far future. Who knows, maybe it's worth more or something. But, of course, as we alluded to earlier, the big sort of subplot here, and it arguably could be the A-plot, is that Bajor are planning to play Switzerland, though, let's be real, it's more likely they're going to wind up the Space Gaza Strip. This is not going to go very well.
I think the entire point is to make sure that it doesn't end up like that.
Exactly. She takes him aside. You know, the surprise visit, you knew there were some other machinations going on there.
Oh, yeah, you can't ever play it straight with her. It's always like, oh, I'm just here for this.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm negotiating peace with the Dominion.
Yes. And Wayoun and the Jemadar show up promptly. We kind of, you know what this reminds me of? The A-plot, in a way, where one side quest leads to another. You know, oh, we need to get this. It's kind of like an Ultima quest. Like in an Ultima game.
Yeah.
Hey, I need the key to the door, so I need to get the key fashioned by a locksmith, but the locksmith needs flour to bake some bread because he's hungry, so I have to go to the farmer for the wheat. And right, like, it just keeps one thing turns into another thing, so I've got these giant rats in my basement. Yes, it always starts with the giant rats in the basement, doesn't it?
Oh, voles.
Yeah, oh yes, Cardassian voles. Dr. Wily here has a plan to cure death, but apparently not male pattern baldness. He can cure death, and how's he gonna do that, guys?
He has to keep the cells entertained, because the reason you die is your cells get bored.
So don't show him modern Star Trek.
I have devoted my life to the study of death. And you know what I found? Death is nothing more than the result of cellular boredom.
Boredom?
Think about it. The cells in your body have been doing the same job. The same dull, monotonous routine every day since you were conceived. Metabolize, divide, metabolize, divide. Wouldn't you get bored? Of course you would. So at some point, the cells just say that's it. And you, the unwary victim of cellular ennui, are quite literally bored to death.
I never thought about it that way.
His wacky theory is he wants to cure death. It's kind of a Dr. Frankenstein type thing, but way, way more innocuous. He basically has made a suntanning booth that you have to lay in. It's like part hyperbaric chamber, part suntan bed. that you lay in, and it keeps your cells entertained so you don't experience cell death, which according to him means you won't experience death. It almost sounds like it could be a real thing, maybe if you're a total retard in an Egyptian plane conspiracy Candace Owens kind of way. And then he keeps talking. And it gets stupider and stupider, right? But that's not really the point of this. The point is it's supposed to kick off a whole series of Lemony Snicket's unfortunate events so that they have to find one thing for another thing for an. It's an Ultima quest.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But you know what it reminds me of? A previous episode. This is maybe the one knock I would throw at this. Maybe one of several. It's similar to that episode with the Great Material Continuum. Remember that one?
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, wait, I almost got this episode mixed up with that other one, to be
Are
honest.
we talking about the
self-stealing stem bolts?
Yeah.
The spoiled bottles of Kanar.
The Yamek sauce.
Oh, the 10,000 rapages of Yamek sauce. That thing, dude. It's a little similar to that one, but I don't know, this works mainly because I think what the writers found that works a little bit better here, they keep it rooted in the existing storyline, the existing Dominion storyline. So as they're doing this, Wayoun is moved into the quarters in the habitat ring, and he just so happens to be quartered above Dr. Funkenstein. And so he hears through the floor because he's got great big ribbed for her pleasure ears, Vorta ears, and I guess they can hear really well like the Ferengi, and he's pressed to the floor. What's going on down there, right? What's going on exactly? And really we get into this whole byplay where we've got Cisco essentially advising Wynn on whether or not to sign the non-aggression pact with the Dominion, which his advice is stall them bitches. Don't give them an answer.
Bide them time.
Right. Bide some time. And then Jake and Nog are performing this series of side quests for other people. O'Brien's the first one, I think, because they need to get like power cells or something.
A Cardassian power cell or something.
Cardassian power cells, and O'Brien is covering for someone's shift because he's, I don't know, down with dengue fever or something. And that just sets off this whole series. Then they talk to Bashir, and Bashir wants a face from the past.
Kukalaka. Excuse me? That's what I want. Lita borrowed him. Said he was cute, but she never brought him back.
Kuka what?
Kukalaka. You bring him to me, and you'll have earned yourselves 5 liters of anaerobic metabolites suspended in hydrosaline solution.
Done. Just one thing, Doctor. What's a Kukalaka?
Kukalaka?
A character that was mentioned in a really good episode, The Quickening, the one where all those people are dying of space AIDS, and Dr. Bashir has to cure them while Dax pretends to be doing anything at all. That episode, that was the one where he mentioned Kukalaka. And so they bring back Kukalaka. He wants his teddy bear back, and who stole it? That conniving bitch Lita. She's got it, and so Nog's master plan to get it back is to hover menacingly over a sleeping Dabo girl with his fingers steepled and a sinister grin on his face. Fellas, what the fuck?
I was getting some like Nosferatu vibes there for a second.
He should have just been standing in the corner doing the Nosferatu pose.
Yes. I am here for Kukalaka.
At least he wasn't, standing over her, hunched over, rubbing his hands together.
I think, careful, you'll incur the wrath of Ben Shapiro. He'll make a speech about you.
But no, he literally breaks into her quarters through a Jeffries tube.
He does. He absolutely does. Screw this. I like this one. The one thing that works not as well, it maybe works comedically, is So very quickly, Wayoun hears what's going on, and of course the Vorta being connivers, and the Vorta in the lore are they're a combination. They're supposed to be kind of like spy masters and spies and counter-operatives, but at the same time, their outward face is they're negotiators. The idea of the Vorta and the Jem'Hadar is they're the carrot and the stick, basically. The Vorta come and, hey guys, you want a deal, wheel, whatever, sign on the dotted line, right? And if they don't want to play ball, okay, now I call the stick. Now I call the Jem'Hadar in, and they vaporize your entire plan, right? That's the entire thing. Yeah. So they're paranoid by nature. They're understandably paranoid by nature because they're negotiating with shitbags all the time, and they're spy masters. So he hears a low hum on a space station that has a constant low hum, by the way, and naturally assumes that there's a murder plot out to get him and upend Dominion control of the entire galaxy. And so they kidnap Dr. Forehead, and then they kidnap Nog and Jake, who had just been called into Cisco's office to explain themselves, and this kicks off the first of several lame explanations from Jake that inevitably make things worse than they would have been if he had just owned up to it. Well, what's the first excuse that he gives to Cisco?
He said that they were drunk.
They were shit-faced. Yes. He says that they were shit-faced, and then as they walk out of the freaking office, go to the turbo lift, and as they're leaving ops, they literally are transported onto the Dominion vessel, where they are now kidnapped. And then they're forced to first they proffer a legitimate explanation, and of course that isn't accepted. I do like this. So Jake comes up with a bullshit one that they're working for Starfleet intelligence and, the whole Cloak and Dagger 007 dog shit.
We're working for Starfleet intelligence. Oh, no. Forget about it, Nog. We have to tell him. We're investigating the man whose picture is in your hand right now. Until yesterday, that man, one Willie Mays, did not exist in any historical documents. Then, in the blink of an eye, that card appeared on the station. And at that same moment, a bust of Willie Mays appeared at the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. There's only one explanation. We suspect that this man is from the future.
A time traveler?
That's right.
After which, Wayoun replies, gentlemen,
I believe you.
Yeah!
And they're like, you do? And he's like, that's to say, I believe the first story.
Yeah, I believe the first. That's a great little back, and you know what that is? That's actually a good Wayoun character moment. Really?
Yeah.
That's right. We get a few of those as this series goes on. The scene where someone's poisoning. Someone's poisoning someone else. I forget who it is. Once we get to that scene, we're all gonna love it. But and Wayoun freaking downs it, and he's like, oh god, that's quite toxic, isn't it? We're the Vorta. We're constantly involved in negotiations, so we're actually genetically incapable of being poisoned, in case you're wondering.
Not too long after that, I got a call from my agents, and they said, okay, you're going back in to guest star on another Deep Space Nine as a different character. Some guy named Wayoun, we don't really, I don't know how to pronounce this. And that was the beginning of Wayoun, which was a gift of a character. Just a wonderful, wonderful role.
Oh, how delightful. The mysterious plots, the subtle innuendo, the veiled threats. It's also entertaining. What? Oh my, that is quite toxic, isn't it?
Are you insane?
Vorta are immune to most forms of poison. Comes in handy when you're a diplomat.
Like, genius!
Yeah.
Genius!
I love that. That's one of the best scenes in all of DS9.
Oh, man. I love that whenever you get some Wayoun character stuff, it's great. Jeffrey Combs, of course, always stealing the show. But this stuff is great. It's funny. All of this is essentially one giant, protracted side quest. They need to record, or they need to rewrite a speech for Kira. She's going to deliver a speech. And Worf wants all these sonic irregularities smoothed out of an audio recording of a Klingon opera, because of course. By the way, Worf is directing this episode and is barely in it. He's in like 2 scenes. It's crazy. It's been a while since we saw Worf. Even though it's been a while since we recorded an episode, like, I could tell you it had been several episodes since we had seen Worf. I assume maybe it had something to do with recording or filming a TNG movie or something. I don't know.
Insurrection, I think, would be the next one, maybe around that time.
Maybe
97.
It would be around that time, because First Contact they did a while ago. But yeah, this. How do you guys feel about this? Well, obviously they resolve it to sort of spoil. They wind up sort of resolve. They kind of don't resolve the B plot. Not concretely. That's going to be really resolved in the next episode. But the way that they resolve this is basically Wayoun lets them go. He gives them the baseball card. Everyone's pretty much happy, including Wayoun, of all people. He gets to rapping with Dr. Frankenstein about the never die chamber, and we literally cut to like a Rocky montage of him getting into the suntanning bed. Like he's gonna solve the death problem, which I guess would hold a peculiar fascination for a genetically engineered organism. But pretty much in solving the Cisco Willie Mays baseball problem, they also simultaneously solve everyone else's problems. I don't know. For me, I dig this one. I think the strongest thing about it is that it doesn't fully put the Dominion War storyline on hold just for this bottle episode. If it did, I might have a different appraisal. This would kind of come off like a shitty clone of the Great Material Continuum episode. I don't think it would be as good. How do you guys feel about it? I probably would give this a solid, watchable 3 out of 5. It's good. There's nothing really to complain about it, but it's not like I would be like, oh shit, you're gonna watch DS9, you better run out and grab this one. How do you guys feel, Hobo?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, it kind of is a lighter episode, which sometimes those are nice because they break up the real serious ones, right? But of course, you still do have the overarching plot, which so like it was really good. I enjoyed it. It's also funny. I thought that Worf was like apparently Worf is an audiophile and has to have the best MP3 quality. Right?
Apparently, yeah.
How good is a Klingon theory?
He's a lossless codec guy.
I have to have 3. I only use FLAC or whatever. Right?
Yes. Sorry, I only use vinyl. It has a warmer sound.
Damn it! I was gonna say that.
Yes. Taryn, what about you?
I'd say 3 is the perfect score for it.
Oh yeah, what would your score be, Hobo?
Oh yeah, honestly, yeah, I would probably say 3 too, because it's not like, the next episode, obviously, that's like top tier, but it wasn't a piece of crap. It was good, and I do like DS9 is great because they have such a variety of episodes. They don't just focus on the war only or this or that. It's like, they have such a great variety. That's what I love.
Yep.
Yeah, I like how when they do episodes like this that are more cheerful, it does break up the whole like MASH maudlin fucking episode.
Yes, it does.
So it's kind of a necessity. In this, they laid the groundwork for the non-aggression pact. When you introduce the Dominion into anything, it gets a little bit more interesting. But I wouldn't go out of my way to watch this episode. So I think 3 is a solid number for it.
Yeah, it's just placeholder, it's watchable, it's good, nothing really to complain about, but nothing to write home about either. But you might want to grab your postcards and your stationery sets, folks, because the next episode is something to write home about. And gentlemen, I'm excited to watch it. I'm sure you are, folks. Until next time, I am Captain Fist for Lieutenant Commander Gell and Tactical Officer Hobo. Until next time, engage.